What is up, Bengals? What is up, Cincinnati? We are talking about the Cincinnati Bengals here on Dynasty Pylon. Rookies, free agency, how well they're going to do. Wait, hold on. Wrong team. Bengals was this morning. Check out the Bengals episode. Holy crap. We're talking Rams today. My bad. If you were here earlier this morning, we talked about the Bengals. So I still got that. I still have the Bengals on my mind. We're doing the Rams today on this specific episode. So, yes. Be sure I label that right when I do the Spotify. But yes, let's get that started. Let's do that again, shall we? Holy crap. LA Rams. Sorry. But we're doing the Rams today. So technically it is very interesting on seeing how well I messed up on that one and on how well this team has been messing up lately. But last year they improved. They improved by dramatically a lot because why? Let's take a time capsule, right? They won the Super Bowl. Hell yeah, they spent everything and all of it, like draft picks, everything, money. They did it all for that was all for one, right? And then they ran it back. Let's go. What happened? They fell on their faces, 5-12 in 2022. What? It made no sense. Same roster, same everything. Everything was back. Everything was the same. What happened? God only knows. So we didn't think that it was going to. Then a lot of them retired. A lot of them left. Things changed. The roster changed. Then they came back in 2023. And we didn't expect them to do as good because we're like, well, they went 5-12 last year. We're like, what happened? I don't think they're going to do it again. Then they surprised us with a good, nice 10-7 playoff run. Like, oh, okay, we're back. We're back on the horse. Let's do this. Unfortunately, they lost by a freaking 1 point. 1 point to Detroit in the wild card. So that hurts. That hurts. However, it's fine. Coming into the draft, they finally have a first-round draft pick in since 2016, who they used for Jared Goff. Jared Goff is, ironically, the guy who beat him going into playoffs, so that kind of sucks. But hey, it is what it is. Now it's fine. We have a first-round draft pick. What are we going to do for it? Well, let's fix some things, right? Let's bring in some guys that we need to fulfill these holes that we lost, right? Biggest issue, Aaron Donald, right? Retired. Hall of Famer. Like, you can't argue that. The guy's as good as he brought what he had. So good for him. I hope he enjoys his journey. I don't know. He's still young enough to come back if he wants to. There's still a possibility. But as of now, he's retired. Saw that last year. There's a dramatic difference. So what do they do with that? They kind of fixed that. We'll get into that with those rookies. But last year it was a big surprise. And unless it was surprised by rookies, very rare that your entire team is just dramatically changed by rookies. And those rookies were Kyron Williams and Puka Nacua, both in the 5th round. God, the Rams did so good with that. They helped that team. They were pretty basically the money makers of that offense. Every single time one of those guys had it, plays were made. However, this year, because he was a 5th round, I'm a little hesitant on what's going to happen with the draft picks that they did for this week. What's up, Mahomes? How are you? How's it going? We're talking LA Rams today, so welcome in. So we're going to get to that, and then we're going to talk about the record and see how well they're doing. Then we're going to add it to the chart. So yes, little Mahomes, if you want, you can let me know how well you think they're going to do. Like, give me the record, and we'll add it to the chart, and we'll figure this out together. So first and foremost, free agency. And I want to talk about this one because it's very important. Tre'Davious White comes back. That's good. I like the pick. It is a little bit risky. He is 29 years old, and he's also coming off the Achilles injury, but if he's healthy, this is going to help the Rams dramatically because why the corner situation there was detrimental. Like, it sucked. So they also brought in Cameron Curl, which is good. So let's help out the DBs. So Tre'Davious White's only 1 year deal. If he does better, who knows? They might circle back again. because that could be a max of 10 million this year. So we'll see what they do. They also, like I said, Darius Williams was another guy they brought in. Cameron Crowe was another guy they brought in. He was a 2-year deal for a 8.7 million. So good. I like it. They're adjusting to the corner situation, the safety situation, DB situation, but they're also not only bringing DBs, but they're also bringing some offensive pieces like guard and like Jonah Jackson, 3-year deal, 51 million. Give some protection there to Matthew Stafford. It's good. I like it. And then they also brought in Kevin Dotson, also another guard, 3-year deal, 48 million. So it's good. They like re-signed him. They're giving value assets. Give Stafford more time. Give him what he needs to be successful for this team. I mean, 10-7, like it's holy crap. Like you're right there, and then you lost it first week in the playoffs. So they're not too far off. They can get another one pretty soon. They have almost just about the same amount of talent. Not the same guys from the Super Bowl era, obviously, but the same amount of talent. It can be done. So, again, Tre'Davious White, good addition. Then they brought in a backup, Jimmy G. Couldn't ask for anything like worse than that. Like as if Matthews goes bad, we've seen Jimmy G kind of get it done. He wins, but it's not the sexiest pick of all. It's not the sexiest draft, or like not draft, but the signing of all. It's just the 1-year deal. So Garoppolo can back him up, and if something happens, maybe like. But Matthew Stafford's a tank. We've seen him. He doesn't go down. It's very hard for him to go down. He's just a monster. He'll go out there and play injured, and he'll still get it done. So those were the big named free agency that they brought in. So it was really good. They made a good offseason from the free agency. But that was all before the draft. Obviously, the free agency is before the draft. As for the draft goes, let's get into those rookies. These rookies are going to be impact right away, in my opinion. I think they're going to be right away impact, especially for the defense. Why? Because again, no more Aaron Donald. You can see that the talent level on that defensive line wasn't the same. So what do these guys do? Well, let's bring in some young guns who are really good. And not only are they really good, but they have good chemistry together. This is what I love what the Rams did. They drafted Jared Verse in the first round, coming out of Florida State. And then the second round, they had him call up his best friend, basically, in college, and like, hey, we're drafting Braden Fisk. They've played right next to each other right along. If you haven't seen that video, it is amazing. I basically have Jared Verse come into the office. He goes, hey, man, what's going on? And he goes, oh, just sitting here at the draft. And he goes, well, they're taking us both. They're taking us both. And he goes, wait, are you serious? You're not joking with me, right? Now, obviously the words were different, but he goes, you're not joking with me. He's like, no, I'm dead serious. So so Fisk starts crying, and he's like, and then Verse is like, don't start crying, man. This don't, you're gonna make it all emotional. So they both start crying. They're both happy. They get drafted to the same team. It's actually really good. They have good chemistry. They know how to work together. So, in those cross routes when they're at the D line, if you don't know your teammate's speed, sometimes you trip over each other's foot. So I see these two being really well together. One could play the edge as a linebacker outside of Preston Fisk and then push him through. So it's good. I like that. This line just upgraded in a single year with 2 top linemen right there / linebacker. Jared Verse kind of plays the edge role that you can probably play linebacker / DN. So view it as you want. The edge, that's basically what we call it now. It's linebacker / DN. So you're welcome. Running back, Blake Corum. This is interesting. They took him in the 3rd round. I value this guy in Dynasty as the most pro-ready of this year to step in, and I have a feeling, and I'm a little scared for Kyren Williams owners. Kyren Williams owners probably hated this pick because why? Kyren Williams was drafted in the 5th round, right? Despite on how well he did, and despite of how well some of these guys do, I've seen players do not continue their careers because of their draft value. It is so weird, and I don't like it, despite on how well they do in this in one single year, 2 years, 3 years. I've seen running backs do this. I don't know why. It just happens. They could do like, and they could do like 1,000+ yards back to back, and it still wouldn't matter. I.e., freaking Philip Lindsay. He did amazing there in Denver, and then they just tanked him. Who's the other one? Robinson, Jacksonville, right? Gone. Like it just. I don't know what it is, but the draft value, they just the talent from where they're drafted just changes as their careers go on. It makes no sense to me. This guy just worked his heart out for you, but I don't know. So I do believe that Blake Corum and Kyrie Williams are going to work really well together as the 1-2. Who's going to take that starting role? I would expect Williams to. And I say that with very big caution because I don't know. Like, Blake Corum can come in and just be like, this is my backfield now. Like, it could definitely be his backfield. Like, easy. It's just the way it, I don't know. I feel like they're similar in certain ways, but not all of them. Because I feel like Blake Corum is just a human bowling ball. Like, it's like, go try and tackle your dad's John Deere coming at 15, 20 miles an hour. Like, you just can't. Like, it's obviously shorter than you, but you're not going to be able to take it down. Because why? It's just heavy. It's big. Like, that's how he is. He just runs straight at people. It's crazy for his size. So that's Blake Corum. Those are like the 3 biggest main draft picks that's going to also help with the signings of Cameron Curl and Jonah Jackson and Tre'Davious White. Like, all these assets. And I want to say that the Tre'Davious White one is the most important because, like, the corners were just like every receiver was just running all over them. So for them to get that far into what the record we saw last year, it's actually a big surprise. But thank you, Buka and Kyron, for just trucking everyone, or like running speed all over everyone, running circles around them. So, all right. Another pick I liked here was Cameron Kitchens, safety out of Miami. I actually did a player breakdown on him. So if you want to check that out, it was earlier last year, but we did do a breakdown on him. So you can see some film on him if you want. But he is one of my favorite safeties coming in. So I do like this pick. I do like that they brought in another safety, kind of help out with those DBs. As like I said before, it was always an issue for them. Brandon Jackson comes in out of Washington State. Tyler Davis, another defensive tackle out of Clemson. So they're upgrading this line, making it younger, working on it, and making it, as best as they can. Now, the problem is all these guys are like 6th round and lower, and you already know how I feel about these 6th round and 7th round guys. Like, sometimes they just don't make the team. It happens. So Josh Riccardi, a kicker out of Stanford, interesting pick there, but it is a 6th round, and he was probably best available at the time. So, kicker, Rams like to use their kickers. It just kind of just seems the way they just like to use their kickers. So, but it's not a bad pick. It's not a bad pick. He's actually pretty good. He's talented. So, Jordan Whitington out of Texas, a receiver, and then Bo Limmer, center out of Arkansas, and then a KT Levinston, a guard out of Kansas State. So, brought in some guys, gotten some depth. See if these guys make the 53-man roster. I know they lowered it, the practice rosters, from 93 to 85 this year, so it's a little harder now. But I'm not saying that these guys can't make it. I'm just saying, like, it's just harder. That's all. So overall, those top 4 picks definitely helped out. Cameron Kitchens, Blake Corum, Braden Fisk, and Jared Verst. All are probably going to make immediate impacts to this roster right away. So let's move on to the roster as we were speaking of them. So Mike LaFleur, obviously head coach, and then Sean McVay, interesting enough, they interviewed him, and he's like, how do you feel about this team? He's like, dude, it feels like year 1. Like, he's so excited to have this team. He's so excited to just coach again. So who knows? This guy probably isn't going to go anywhere. This guy is probably not going to go anywhere. So look at it as it's a good thing or a bad thing, but he's excited to be there. So it feels like year 1 is what he said. So Matthew Stafford at the helm still. I'm not hating it. He's still good. He's moving up in age, but he's still playing like he was like in his youngin days. He's still that good. Stetton Bennett as his backup still. So again, Kyron Williams, Blake Corum, and Boston Scott still survives a roster. How in the world is this man still playing? I do not understand it, but there he is. I think I hate him just as much as I hate Voldemort. I it's just I don't know. So that's those are the running backs. So again, between those two, I think it's gonna be things be pretty good. I don't see them. I'm interested in how they use them because we know how they seen Kyrie Williams. We know how they use him. He's a speedster, pass catching back, and he just lightning fast. He just blows people out of the water. So Blake Corum it's not as fast, but he does have a little bit more mass on him, so he could probably break more tackles than Kyrum. So it is going to be interesting to see how they utilize these two. But I do expect some great things out of these two young running backs here at the Rams. As for the line, Havenstein, Dotson, Avila, Jackson, both Jackson, Jonah, and Alaric. So Bo Limmer and Livingston, they're coming in, helping out. So let's see if they can add to this, help here with the line. I mean, the line's not like the worst, but it isn't the same either. So it's not the same from back when, Super Bowl era, obviously 3 years ago. So, but they can manage to survive and get it done. They have enough to it. So moving on from Cooper Kupp to Puka Nacua and Demarcus Robinson and then Jordan Whitington, sorry. So Tutu Atwell, I'm just not, I don't know. I just can't, I can't get behind on that still. He's just, I'm giving up on him. I don't know. And I don't want to say anything mean about it, but I just saw that his rookie year, like, why? I didn't think he was going to do anything. I mean, obviously this guy, Puka Nacua, out of nowhere, 5th round, just outshined you. Cooper Kupp is just old as dirt. I'm sorry, Cooper Kupp fans, but you got to face the music. He's not as young as he used to be, and he is falling apart, and you can see it happening. So Puka Nacua is obviously, in my eyes, probably the clearest number one here. Say what you say about Demarcus Robinson. I just feel like Puka Nacua is going to be the number one guy. Then you got Tyler Higbee at the tight end. Look, this team doesn't do tight ends, okay? Tight ends are there. Like, Tyler Higbee plays 100% of the freaking time, but Sean McVay doesn't utilize the tight ends very well. I'm not spending any draft capital on this guy. I'm not even drafting this guy. I've given up 100% on this guy. If you can look at the numbers from the last couple of years, take the average. Just as long as he's been there, they haven't been that great. Last year was probably one of his best years, but it just wasn't that great. So, and it's probably because of injuries that they were lack of and talent of. So they had to use him. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Parkinson ends up out there as like a slot or something. I don't know. We'll see. Like whatever they use, a double tight is what I meant. So double tight like with Parkinson. So again, it's going to be very interesting on what they do with this Rams offense. I do expect them to, be a little bit above average. The 10 wins last year surprised me. So we'll see. All right, defense. Boy, am I excited about these guys. Fisk and Verse. Awesome picks, round 1. Ernest Jones and Brian Young. Now, these two linebackers, Ernest Jones is going to be basically, if you play IDP, this guy might be like probably the best guy here. He's elevated his game in the last 2 years, and I think it's his time to shine. There's no Bobby Wagner anymore, so there's no like actual talent in front of him anymore. So now he is going to be the main linebacker here. Ernest Jones is probably going to pop off this year if you play IDP. Linebacker 2 at worst. At worst. I don't think he'll go back into his 3-role or 4-role, like wherever, depending on how deep your IDP leagues are. But I think Ernest Jones is going to be probably one of the most valuable assets, and it wouldn't surprise me if he's top 20 linebacker this year. I'll even say maybe 15. That's how good I think it's going to be with him. So good for him. Again, with these additions to Cameron Curl and Tre'Davious White, I think it's going to help out the DBs. I think this defense is going to be a little bit better than last year, where they're not just throwing on them, and then the offense has to play catch up the entire time. So they're not going to be as gassed this year. It's going to be still a struggle, but I don't think they're going to be as, gassed, if that makes sense. I just felt like they were just running out of thin room back there, and they were just running on fumes. And how they made it that far is still beyond me. Everyone expected them to be literally like the worst team in the NFL last year. I didn't think they were going to get 3 games. Yeah. So, and they sure showed me, and they showed everybody else. But it is what it is. So let's see how well they do. All right. So we got the offense and defense, a little bit on how well I think they're going to do. I think they're going to be very good. But let's move on to the schedule. Now, if you're in chat, please go ahead and give me your records, how well you think they're going to do. Let's go over their schedule right now. And we can determine and put them somewhere on our wheel or chart, I should say. Where is the schedule? There it is. So, blocking myself. All right. So week 1, we got September 8th, week 1 against Detroit. Sunday Night Football. I'm not going to lie. I think you're going to lose that one right off the bat. Not a good start. But it's in Detroit, so yeah, it's not too bad. And then you like your first 2 home games or first 2 are away games before you see San Francisco. They're at home. I think what's going to happen is you could lose against Detroit, maybe beat Arizona. Probably, I think you might lose there, so you might start. Honestly, I think it's going to be a rough schedule. 0-3, okay, 0-3, and then we'll see Chicago. Now, if Chicago can pull it off and they're doing as good as they think they like, Chicago has done moves. Chicago has done everything to line up for Caleb Williams for him to succeed, but we have to see it yet. We haven't seen any of it yet. We have to see some of it with Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, Komet and Swift, and that line has gone a lot better. That offense probably could take out the Rams defense. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. We're looking at 0-4, guys. What in the hell is going on? Green Bay. This one's going to be interesting. I think this is where you guys got to take Green Bay. They're at home. I think this is going to be the second home game. I think this could be a win here just because of it's like a later game and Green Bay have to travel there. I believe because it's a later game, I think you guys can actually do this one. It's going to be at home. Green Bay is kind of the mid-tier. I think the Rams are somewhere in the mid-tier as well. I think the back end of the Rams schedule is a lot easier than the front end. That's how I see it. I think you win there, and then you have a bye week at week 6, which kind of sucks. It's a little bit early, but it's all right. You guys had an early bye week last year, and you guys did amazing. So, I think you beat Raiders. So that's the second win right there. I think you beat the Vikings. That's the third win. I think you could probably maybe pull off Seattle. So I'll go 4 right there. So now we're back to 4-4, right? And we host Miami. I'm not gonna lie, I think Miami's really good. So you won't lose that one, or you'll lose that one. I think you beat the Patriots. You lose against the Eagles. You might lose against the Saints. You lose against the Bills. And I'm really sorry. This is not looking so hot right now. And I don't think you beat the Niners. The schedule's kind of hard. So we're at 4 wins right now. The Jets you might be able to take on, the Cardinals and the Seahawks towards the back end because it's towards the back end of the season. So I think you might be able to squeeze yourself about 7 to 8 wins here. And I'm going to go with 7 just because of how the schedule's aligned. I'm going to go with 7. I don't like how some of these high end teams are, and the Niners are looking really good right now too. So I'm gonna go with 7 here. It's the Chicago one is weird for me. That Chicago one is either gonna be the 6 or 7. You know what? I'll go 6.5. I don't know about that one. That one's gonna be the weird one. If Chicago can somehow pull it off, I don't know. Like Caleb has a lot on his shoulders. I'm honestly, and I'm not to. I hope he does crap this year. I really do. Not to mean to say, but I don't care. I hope he does bad his first rookie year, and then his second year he gets a little better. I don't know. Look, hey, this is the Rams episode. I talked good about the Chicago Bears in the Chicago Bears episode. You want some praise over there? Go listen to that one. But this is the Rams episode, so I don't care. Yeah, I'm gonna go 6.5 here. What's up? Tua's back today. Says those games before the bye could be rough. Yeah. See, exactly how I feel about it's gonna be a rough start. I feel like it's gonna be a rough start. It's these later games are a little bit easier. I think they split with everyone in the division except for San Francisco. I think that's what I had it, right? Or did I have Arizona? I can't remember. But Tua says he's gonna give them 6. I'm going to give him Las Vegas, Minnesota, New England, New Orleans, and the last 2 versus Arizona and Seattle. Okay. I think I was similar to Las Vegas, Minnesota, yeah. I don't know about New Orleans. I don't think they beat New Orleans. I think New Orleans has a pretty good enough talent to actually beat them. So don't sleep on New Orleans, man. Don't sleep on New Orleans. So, all right. 6.5. Surprise me again, Rams. Surprise me again. You did it to me last year. You can do it again. Last year, I only thought you could only win 2 games. And you surprised the living hell out of everybody. Do it again. Do it again. Get yourself in the playoffs. You guys can do it. This roster isn't half bad. That defense has elevated by a lot. I just need to see it. It's got some good young talent that you brought in. I love it. I really do. So I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna go 7. I'm gonna go 7. I know that's still not good enough for playoffs or whatnot, but I'm gonna go 7. I think you guys can do it. I think you guys can go 10. You guys could go 10. So let's get me out of the screen. Let's bring the chart here between me and Tua's 6. Now we're going to go 6.5 anyways. So, all right, let's bring up the chart. We're going to give them 6.5. Where are you? There you are, my friend. Okay. All right. So, Rams, where are you at? Let's go 6.5. And let's go with the yellow offset color with the outline of blue. There you go. How about that? All right. Okay. Where are you at? NFC. There you go. Okay. 6.5. Oh, crap. We got the Cardinals at 6.5, too. It's going to be an interesting division. All right. In that division, we have 6.5 with Cardinals, Seattle with 9. We have not gotten to the Niners episode yet. So we did 2 today. We did the Bengals earlier today. Got the Rams now. I will do after our morning spike show. Later in the afternoon, I'll try and do another one. All right. And I think who is next after that? After that, we will take care of the Steelers. We'll do the Steelers. And I think on Monday I'll do another 2. So we'll try it. We'll try it. My schedule's been kind of crazy. So again, guys, 6.5 for the Rams. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. And then when I'm wrong again, you can come in here and actually say something. Actually come and say something. It's fine. So, all right, guys, take it easy. Good morning, good evening, good night. This is Dynasty Pylon talking about the Rams here on this episode. We will see you tomorrow morning on the 23rd as we talk about OTAs and draft picks, and we're going to get into a hot topic of Brandon Ayuk tomorrow on where his potential landings. So tomorrow morning, talk about that on the morning spike, and we'll just have some fun. So again, I'll see you guys back then. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Tua, thanks for coming in as usual and giving me your team. So, and yeah, thanks for watching. Later.
Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. When I watch me elevate.